Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Faster Way podcast. I'm your host, Amanda Tress, founder and CEO of the Faster Way, and I'm joined by
Lee Bergen. I'm a pro trainer here at the Faster Way.
We are going to do another coach confessional. It's been a little minute.
I know. I feel like I've been missing something.
This fall has been crazy. We were hit by 2 major hurricanes, and it's just been busy at the office.
Right. We've had 2 in-person events at the same time. So it's like October blinked.
Yeah, it was real. I mean, honestly, 3 events because so we had the first hurricane, then we had Mexico City Leg Day, then we had the second hurricane, and then we had Momentum Summit with coaches, and then also the Tampa Leg Day.
Yeah, it's been a minute of a lot.
Of a blur. Yeah, a bit of a blur. So Thanksgiving is upon us.
Yeah.
This week.
I can't. It's just, I'm just stuttering because time has gone by so fast, even just this entire year, having these conversations, missing this time and recognizing that Thanksgiving's here. It feels like January is here.
I know. Yeah. And we're already in like January mode. I'm in 2025 mode. I'm in 2020. I'm in 2030 mode. Like I'm a very like future thinker and, but I love the holidays. So it is kind of my one time to be a little bit more present. What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
Okay. It's planes, trains, and automobiles.
Oh.
Okay. So I'm going to meet my son in Dallas.
Okay.
We're going to spend the night with my brother and sister-in-law who have reunited after 5 years of a divorce.
Yeah, that's right.
The kids know that's fine. Then we're going to drive to Austin to be with my family. Then we're going to meet my children's dad and then drive to College Station for the UT A&M football game.
How many days is this spanning?
So it is 4 nights, 4 houses, 9 hours of driving.
Oh my goodness. Holy cow.
Yeah. Here for it.
Yeah. And are you going to stay then in?
So we'll stay in College Station through Sunday, and then we'll come back on Sunday, and then he'll be here for the month of December for Christmas. And now what about you?
Okay.
Which country will you be in?
Yep. Great question. Thanksgiving will be in Costa Rica.
Okay.
Yep. I'm still trying to plan out all the logistics. My second is actually going up to Pennsylvania with my in-laws and my parents. So Cole is going to be doing a little Pennsylvania trip.
So this is your first Thanksgiving apart.
Cole and myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
But he's going to help my mother-in-law set up her Christmas tree and meet, some people. So that's going to be great. We'll have the girls in Thai in Costa Rica, and we do a bit of a celebration at our beach club on Thanksgiving. It's real cute because they don't really have turkeys in Costa Rica.
I was just going to ask, what's the fowl that we're going to eat?
They do get turkey, but it's like different. Like it's just funny. So that'll be really great. There's actually been, speaking of weather and hurricanes and so forth, there's been a very bad scenario in Costa Rica with major flooding.
Oh, yeah.
November starts the dry season, but they were dumped on for like 2 weeks straight, had horrendous flooding, closed down the airport. So it kind of just reopened. But we're excited to relax now that the sun is coming out. And then Christmas, I'll be here. So I am like going bananas.
So Thanksgiving week, Costa Rica. Then you come back here for a couple weeks.
Yes.
Then you go back to...
I'm going to actually stay in Florida, but my in-laws are coming in and we're going to go to Orlando.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So we're going to go to Orlando to the Gaylord and do the Gaylord thing. Yeah. I love that for Christmas.
Me too.
So fun.
And it's so festive.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I am a lover of the holidays.
Yeah.
I am always pushing us to put our Christmas decorations up as soon as possible in the studio. Last year, it was a thing. I don't know if you remember. They took down the decorations on like December 26th, and I was like so upset.
It was a thing.
I was like, why are my decorations up? I'm like, I wanted to enjoy them until January 1st.
Do you know that when I moved here 5 years ago, I only moved here just to kind of test the water. I left my tree up in Texas for 3 years. I just left it. I moved the day after Christmas and then I just left it up. Maybe that's why I'm divorced.
That is so funny. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Left it up. I love it too.
So it's already Thanksgiving, but there is still some time left in the year to be better, to do better, to finish the story with strength, energy, and momentum so that we can move into 2025 with excellence. And recently, this fall again, it's been stressful.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
For me as a CEO, as a mom, as a friend, as an individual, it's just been kind of like a tough season because of all the things that I've been juggling. Also, too, our company is growing fast. So when you grow 25% in 1 year, it's almost like the company we have now is a completely different company than it was 2 years ago.
100%. I mean, they're growing pains,
Yes.
right? But through the growth is where the gains are. So it's important.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. That's such a great quote. But here's the deal. October, very stressful. And I was kind of at the end of my rope a little bit in certain ways. And, case in point, we didn't even get to, record a podcast. I mean, it was just been nuts. And so I finally just kind of woke up one day and I'm like, I am going to have to make a change and show up differently as a CEO, as a wife, as a mom, if I want a different outcome. Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And so I created a manifesto for myself, which I have been reading every day since November 1st. I shared it on social media last week, and I wasn't sure if I should share it because I was like, this is vulnerable. If I share this, people will know that I'm not perfect. And because I'm not perfect, I had to create a new manifesto and show up in a different way. So I was very much so like, oh, should I post it? Posted it. Was in my sauna and then forgot that I had posted it and then was walking up after being in the sauna and I'm like, oh my gosh, should I delete it? I'm like, ooh, wow. Shouldn't I have posted that? So I'm going to read my manifesto. And again, let's just be completely transparent and honest. I wrote it because I wasn't happy with my current reality. I felt that I was coming into the office having to be very frustrated, which frustration is just an interpretation. It's not a fact, but I was more frustrated than I was fulfilled. I was in a scenario where I was very emotionally reactive because of certain circumstances. But at the end of the day, specifically with a company or even at home, it starts at the top. So if the leader isn't doing the right job setting expectations, if the leader isn't doing a good job with clarity, if the leader isn't doing a good job with accountability and even personal responsibility, then that's going to trickle down and it's going to be a culture because culture is what we create. It's what we allow. It's what we don't allow. And so I'm like, man, at the office, there was expectations weren't being met. There was finger pointing and blaming and a lot of it, like you said, is growing pains. But at the same time, I'm like, if I display the willingness to show up differently and if I have some new ways of operating, then that's going to create a situation where the team operates in a different way. And same thing at home.
Yeah, fully. And you don't even notice that things are not going the way that you want them to so many times. And so that's this is really impressive, Amanda.
And it's like a cumulative effect too, I would say. So I'm going to pull up my new manifesto. The title of it is Billion Dollar Brand CEO. But again, I also translated it to my family. And I'm going to read the manifesto first, and then we're going to talk through some non-negotiables. I haven't shared the non-negotiables on social media yet because when I share them, that means I have to live by them.
I know. You're so brave. This is so good. Okay.
I'm like, am I ready for all those non-negotiables? Yeah, I'm amping myself up.
We'll hold us accountable. So
yes. So let me read this and then we'll talk through the non-negotiables. After years of building and grinding, I've realized that true success isn't just about what we achieve, it's about how we show up every day for the people who matter most. My team deserves my best leadership, my children deserve my best presence, and my own potential demands my best focus. Starting today, I'm making a fundamental shift in how I show up as a leader, parent, and human being. My team deserves clear direction and consistent leadership, not reactive frustration. My family deserves my full, undivided attention, and I deserve to operate at my highest potential. My new standard is excellence with empathy. I will lead with clarity instead of criticism, structure instead of stress, and purpose instead of pressure. When my team sees me, they'll see someone who is present, prepared, and positive. When my children see me, they'll see a parent who is fully there, not hidden behind a screen. I'm done with the scattered reactive approach that leaves everyone feeling frustrated. Instead, I'm building a billion-dollar mindset, one that values strategic thinking over scrolling, meaningful connections over mindless consumption, and deliberate action over digital distraction. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Every day I'll show up as the leader I know God created me to be, starting with how I lead myself.
Wow. Okay, I'm not going to cry. I'm really not. Like, I'm fighting this right now. You're a visionary, but you have now written your mission. So you have what you want to do, but here's your action items that are coming from the inside.
Yes.
That's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Right?
I
think that's really awesome.
I've been reading it every day in the morning, and it's not that I'm going to change overnight. And I've like communicated this to the team because I shared it with them in a Monday meeting, 1st of November. I'm like, here's the deal. I'm going to show up different. And then ultimately I'm going to expect you to show up different, but I'm not going to change overnight. There's going to be some steps forward, some steps backward. I know you're not going to change overnight, but I want to see the willingness and the self-awareness to make some improvements. And then yesterday we met about our new team values for the executive team. One is personal responsibility. We discussed it. We defined it. One is excellence in everything we do. We discussed it. We defined it. One is confidence or swagger. We discussed it. We defined it. And so we really were able to kind of nail down like, okay, moving into 2025, if we want to have a multi-million individual impact, here's what we need to do in order to show up at our highest potential as a leadership team, which is then going to be disseminated down to the rest of the team. And so I really feel in sync with the lead team. And I was very transparent with them of like, guys, you know, we've done certain things to get to this point. It's going to be different than what we have to do in the future. We always want to pursue highest and best good for the company, but like reactive, you know, frustration and emotional it's just like, that's not the answer. So should we go through some of my non-negotiables?
Yeah, because again, here are the action items, right? So you've got your manifesto. This is exactly what you want to do, how you're going to be, how you're going to feel.
Yep.
So now let's get into the nitty gritty. It's okay.
Okay. So disclaimer, I'm still working on these a little bit. But let me start with family sanctity, because I think that is a great place to start. And then I'll do team leadership and then personal excellence. So family sanctity, and this one's, it's going to be hard and it sounds so silly, but phone completely off, like out of sight, out of mind, in the drawer during the 5 to 6 p.m. daily hour for a game with the kids, walk with the kids, catching up after school. So just phone totally off. And I will say, like, it's so silly, but it's hard to do because
it's hard because too, everyone who follows you and appreciates you loves to follow and see your family.
Yeah.
And it's hard because that is such a sacred time. You said it, the sanctity of your family. So that's such a sacred time, and you don't want to infringe on that. And that's a real hard thing to do.
Even
I
just
appreciate
this
that,
month,
though.
like the past couple weeks, I'm like, I'm taking less video of the kids and less photos. And I still want to document, but it's like, because I've had the phone off, and then I'll get to the next one too, you know, I'm like, oh, I don't have as many pictures. And it's like, maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it does. I need to find that balance because I want to still document, you know, but I don't have to go overboard with it. So here's the second one. And this one actually I have been doing, and it's been very hard. So one full phone-free weekend day. One full phone-free. And I have
24 hours or 12?
24 hours. Okay. And here's the hardest part. So I've been on Instagram since Instagram came out.
Totally.
I have not gone without posting on Instagram in 24 hours, like more than 5 times.
Wow.
Ever.
Wow.
Even after having a baby.
Right.
Like, it's rare that I'll go 24. And so I was very concerned because I have 100 some thousand followers. It's not that many compared to like most influencers, even a lot of our coaches. But what's really interesting is I have a lot of story views. So my story views are significantly higher in percentage than most influencers because I've gained my followers one by one by one. Yeah. It's not, I've never gone viral. I've never gone viral and all these followers came. It's just like 1% at a time. It's the person in the Uber. It's the waitress. It's the client. It's it's the person at church. Follow. But it's been very slow and organic. And because of that, my story views are significant.
Totally.
Anytime I talk with like a social media expert and I'm like, oh yeah, I get X number of story views. They're like, what?
And
how do you do that
to everybody too?
I respond to a lot. Yeah.
That's the other thing that's hard.
For sure. So I was very concerned that if I am not on Instagram, this is so silly, for 24 hours, I'm like, my story views are going to tank. Like they're going to tank. Where in fact, and this is interesting, the opposite has happened. The exact opposite. So I've now for probably 3 different weekend days, like one was a Sunday, one was maybe a Saturday, I forget. Then the next day when I do post 24 hours later, my story views are through the roof. I was like, what?
They're waiting.
They are.
What have you been doing, Amanda? Where have you been? Because they're following you. I mean, if you've been doing this for 10 years, they've been following you this entire time. So they're waiting.
Yeah.
And then they get worried. Where are you? Are you okay? We've been missing you.
Right.
And so then they're really eager because too, then they know that what you're saying is really important.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I could not believe that though. I was like, oh, wow, it actually.
You're breaking algorithms all day.
It did. I kind of like broke the algorithm a little bit. I'm like, oh, that wasn't expected. So that is really good. Now I need to like tighten up a little bit this coming weekend. Last weekend, I did stay off of social media all day. But I still did like a few check-ins from a work standpoint on a Sunday. I'm like, no. Like I just need to stay off because let's be clear, Cole, other kids have made others of my kids. When you have so many kids, you can say things like that. Several of the kids, a few of the kids,
many of the kids.
have said like, Mom, you're always on your phone. And I am. And I do also bring home a lot of money for the family on that phone.
This is part of my job.
However, I don't want them to just see me as someone who's constantly behind a screen or distracted. So that's one of the non-negotiables, one full free weekend.
So either Saturday or Sunday.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And then another one is 2 planned evening activities with kids weekly. Ooh, this is hard.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you want to just quiet.
Yes.
For yourself.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, I go home from the office and then things ratchet up.
Oh, for real.
It doesn't ratchet down. Yeah. It goes the opposite way. I go home and get my workout in for the energy of the evening activities, which unless you're in it, it's very hard to like understand how intense it is. It's like we got the football game the same day as the cheer practice, the same day as the cross country thing, the same day as the So tonight I'm taking JJ out to Christmas shop for the kids. She just turned 4 and she joined me in the sauna last night. And I'm like, what do you want to get for your siblings? And she had a really thoughtful idea for all of them. It was so cute. And I was like, well, how about tomorrow we have a special evening outing where we go shop. So she put on the cutest little dress this morning. She has the cutest little dress with a little sweater over it. And we did her hair. She put on cute shoes. So she's going to wait all day long for me to get home so that we can go shopping for her siblings.
That's a non-negotiable.
Yes. Yep. So that's going to be really cute. And then, this time of year with the holidays, we like to go see the lights and go do, other things. So that is one of them. And then, this other one, I need to kind of decide if this is going to actually.
And it's challenging while you think about this because you don't want to not follow through and you want to raise the bar high and set the expectations. And there's a lot of pressure on that. So I want to just love on you because the manifesto is to relieve the pressure. I want you to open another pressure door.
That is
so
true.
Even having JJ sit on your lap is still counts as an activity. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so this one, I have to decide if this is going to work. No work texts from 5 to 7 unless truly urgent. And again, people are sitting here like, this is so silly. Why would that be hard? When you are the CEO of a company of our size, it's actually very hard because a lot comes up through me still. I'm working through the balance of that because moving forward, less needs to come up through me and I should only do the things that only I can do. However, there's it's a lot, so that one's tough.
It's tough because you also want to follow up and it's hard you trust everybody, but it's hard to let go. And at the same time, part of where the frustration I'm sure comes from is from seeing some balls drop. So you want to be able to follow up. You want to be able to coach. You want to be able to lean into that.
Yeah.
And at the same time, the team has to prove too that they're all here for the right reasons with the same mission and vision.
So I'm making notes in my phone as we speak because when I shared the manifesto, someone goes, "What about Brandon?" Brandon gets attention. And
Brandon's been there since Brandon's.
Yeah, Brandon. Yeah. But I do need to add something to the non-negotiables. Like, we're like good about double dates, but maybe just like.
But at the same time, you guys have such a system and such a rhythm too.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, but you do know when you need each other. And I think that both of you co-parent so well and you work together so well. So you'll find when that's going to be important, what that looks like.
We're together a lot. We are together every day.
Yeah.
So it's a little different when you work with your spouse and you're in the car. And okay, so let me read just a couple and I'll kind of fly through these for team leadership. For a couple of years, I was doing a daily meeting with the leaders every single day, no matter what, vacation, holiday. I'm doing a meeting. When I was in Costa Rica this year, it was 6:45 in the morning for me, but I would still do it. No questions asked. I scaled back from that because I wanted to really empower my new leaders who have come in. We've hired a new CFO this year, a new CMO, and then a new interim president type role. And we have our COO, CTO. So I kind of was like, you guys, you do the daily meeting and then come to me with the updates. But I still am going to kind of institute this Monday and Friday sync on priorities in progress because we have sometimes like a little breakdown between Monday and Friday because things get busy and crazy and so that's important. I do a Sunday email with a list of weekly priorities and then I have the team share their priorities and I look through that and we keep track on a particular document. End of week review of the team KPIs and clear accountability tracking in the lead team meeting or via an organized dashboard. So this is key. And again, it's where I'm showing up with more personal responsibility and expecting my leaders to do the same.
Yeah.
I put on here on the non-negotiables, zero tolerance for missed deadlines without advance notice. Zero tolerance. Like I don't tolerate it anymore.
A deadline's a deadline.
A deadline's a deadline. If you didn't give me advance notice for months, then we're going to have an issue. And if your name is at the top of the sheet, we have a new execution kind of project template. And there's a sponsor from the executive team, so a C-suite sponsor. Then there's a lead, kind of liaison on that sheet as well. But if you are the executive sponsor on that sheet and this goes sideways,
that's on you.
It's on you. Your name's on the sheet. So I'm excited about that. We just implemented that. And this is like baby stuff. Like we have CEOs listening and they're like, yeah, that's obvious.
But again, this is your it's all new and what you do is different. So there's no blueprint for what you do either.
That's
so
true.
That's hard.
Yeah.
Right. So you're navigating this whole entire thing without a map. You're creating your own map. And so there's going to be different iterations of this. And the basic underlying thing here is space and trust. That's what's happening. So that's awesome. That's hard.
Yeah. And I think people feel more empowered and free with clear expectations, guidelines, and timelines, which is interesting. It's the opposite of what you would think. It's like, oh, okay, you're not micromanaging, you're not checking in, you're saying here's the expectation and the goal and the objective, and then we work backwards from there. So third, and we'll kind of wrap up here. And again, I'm going to edit these a little bit and then I'll post them on social at some point. So personal excellence. I have been iffy on this one this week. So up at 5:50 a.m. because I want to just kind of get my day rolling. You are up at like 4:45.
Well, I was, this whole year, starting November right now, last year, my husband left me, 2 dogs died, like all the things happened. So, and I haven't done anything different this year. I kind of just sat in this isolation, which is not a good place to be either. Right. So, you can grieve and you can go and you can kind of pull your boots up and all these things, but you're just sitting in this isolation. My daughter's not going to Thanksgiving with me. And last week she ran away. Oh. She ran away for 5 days. I didn't talk to her for 5 days. She was with her boyfriend.
Well, that's good.
I know. But she forgot that she was sharing her location. Anyway, that helped. But my point is that, and I told her the same thing, if you're doing exactly what you're doing this time next year, then that is a definition of insanity. Yeah. So when I think about these different iterations and I think about what you can do personally and waking up at 4, it didn't happen. I mean, today I was like, holy smokes, I might see the sun out the window. And I just lay there with my dog and we just like looked at each other and I was like, let's go on a walk. I didn't go to the gym. So for this entire year, I have let go of some of those personal things. Yeah. I feel myself coming back, but I didn't know what I let go of in just a hiding place.
But again, you kind of referenced it earlier. You know, we do need to give ourselves grace, and there's seasons. And so you were like, I'm done. You know, put JJ on your lap. That's an evening activity. You know, like I think I would say the same thing to you. You know, there was a big life change and you were kind of entering into a different season.
Yeah.
And so but I think too, it's like, okay, now you're kind of feeling like, all right.
Okay, I'm coming back. So I'll call you at 5.
No, 5:50.
5:50, sorry.
Not 5.
Okay.
5:50. Don't call me at 5, Lee. I'm not going to be up.
So what happens at 5:50?
I haven't really worked all that out yet. Yeah. So really, like 2 weeks ago, it was just me getting to the office earlier and knocking 2 things off my list. That is going to kind of feed into this next one, which is 3 25-minute deep work blocks before noon. And that doesn't sound like much time, but at the office, it's very distracting.
Yeah.
It's very distracting at the office. And I'm pulled into a million things, which is part of the reason I work from home in the afternoon. But if I can just you've probably seen me close my door more.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like closing my door more to like knock things off the list and just like get rid of distractions and like actually just focus on writing the email to the strategic partner, writing the doing the. So that's been important. And then this one, I really have just got to do this. And now that I've written it down and I'm not doing it, I'm like feeling guilty. So 7 to 8 p.m. So you heard me say 5 to 7, no work texts, but then 7 to 8, I just want to do like reading and planning instead of scrolling my phone. Instead of scrolling my phone. How easy it is for us to just get into the Instagram algorithm.
Yeah.
And the stuff I see on my feed, I know when I've been on my phone too long, there's like one account that I know if I've been on my phone too long, this girl pops up and I'm not going to say who it is or what it is because it's just, I'm not going to make fun of her. But when I see this person on my feed and I know I've built this algorithm brick by brick, I've done this to myself. But when she pops up there, I'm like, I got to abort. I got to get off. We're done. We're done here.
So do you have like a bell system at the house? Like ding, 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 it's 7. Ding, 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 it's 5.
I should.
You
That's
know,
a good
just
idea.
set alarms. Maybe it's too much. I don't know. But maybe an alarm will just kind of help you get into that.
Or is there a way to like set your phone to where it goes dark, like at a certain time?
Mine does,
or like,
yeah.
Or you like, can it like turn off Instagram at like 7?
Yeah, you've got parent controls.
Okay,
Get that to
I'm going to do the parent controls on my phone. I'm going to parent. I'm going to do
parent myself.
It's important because otherwise we sit there and we scroll and sometimes it's funny and it's fun. But then other times it is like you kind of get into
it
this.
It gets in there. It's what you feed yourself is what you pour out.
Yes.
The same thing with your nutrition, but what you're putting in is what you pour out and really defining those boundaries because you don't recognize that you're starting to feel a comparison trap.
Yep,
you don't recognize that you're starting to go down these paths, but boy, you got that girl.
Yeah.
She's showing you.
Yep. I'll have to show you. I mean,
do some parent controls for them.
So anyway, those are...
I love it. I think it's super inspirational and give yourself grace. This is grace and grit and grind. It's all of the things together. So we're here to support you. We know when that door shuts, I don't lay on my belly and look under your door anymore to see if you're really in there.
People
if you crawled out the window.
People used to. Yeah.
But we all respect that and we're here for it. We love your kids. We love you. We love what you're doing and we're here to support you all the way.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Progress is the key,
That's right.
not perfection. But I figure if I start now in Q4,
yeah.
it'll give me a little head start for
month.
2025. It's the prep month for 2025.
Yes.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, we hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving if you're in the U.S. and you celebrate Thanksgiving. If not, we just hope you have a great week and we'll be back here again soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.